Good morning, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. We're going to be looking at the astrology of today, Wednesday, the 15th of January, 2025. The moon is in Leo, self-expressive Leo, early morning sextile to Jupiter, so that sort of increases the need to express yourself. There is an inconjunct of the moon to Saturn, so we may have to make some adjustments in the way that we express ourselves if we expect to be heard, and even then, we may feel like we're not being heard. The moon trines Chiron at 3:16. That connects us to the wound, to the healing of the wound, but also to the reality of the wounds that we're trying to heal. Um, and then later tonight at 9:39, we have an opposition of the Sun and Mars, and that's the thing I want to speak to at this time. Um, the Mars Sun synod, the time it takes for the Sun to conjoin Mars and then come back and conjoin Mars again is a 2 year cycle. And usually, about a year into the cycle, we have the opposition, and the opposition gives us a sense of what seed was planted at the Sun Mars conjunction. Now, the Sun Mars conjunction. Um, is an illumination of a desire, an illumination of an action, or perhaps an illumination of a need, an action that needs to be taken. We could look at it that way. So this synodic cycle actually began way back in November of 2023. Um, I believe it was the 18th of November. We had a conjunction of the Sun and Mars at 26 degrees of Scorpio. And I just want to read to you the Sabian symbol for 26 degrees of Scorpio. So this was the initial impulse, okay? It says Indians making camp, adaptability. We must learn to respond to the changing environmental conditions in which we live, trusting that we can find whatever we need wherever we go. Though we may Though try though we may, we cannot tame nature, nor even will, and eventually will succumb to uh, its ways and powers. Yet we can learn through this by observing the tuning in to nature, how to adapt comfortably to all situations. We can guard against the worst of it by wearing clothes and building shelters, but in the end, we surrender. So now we find ourselves at the opposition, and the opposition is the Sun at 27 degrees of Capricorn, which the Sun at 27 degrees of Capricorn, and Mars at 27 degrees of Cancer. Of course, Mars is retrograde. We can only have a sun opposite Mars when Mars is retrograde. That's when it happens, right? So let's take a look at the Sabian symbols for both the sun and Mars. So let's look at the sun first. And of course, the opposition is the harvest, is the seed. This is the situation right in front of us. The seed was planted in November of 2023, and now we have the fruition of that seed. And so we will have an awareness, right? And so you can imagine what I might say about this, but hold on, I'm just trying to work with my computer who's giving me a problem. So the sun at 27 degrees of Capricorn, the pilgrim's journey, a mountain pilgrimage. If we are sincere seekers, then we must for a time move away from our busy lives and struggle upwards to seek peace, retreat and pilgrimage. Even though we love the dance of life, the sensuality of touch, and the thrill of engagement, and the risk of dangerous conflict, we also must love the music that makes us dance. For the pilgrim, that love is a stronger force for a while and causes them to walk away from the busy marketplace to find a mountaintop somewhere so they can have fuller experience of the greater musician. Okay, so this is really about aspiring, right? Moving up and aspirationally. Okay. All right. So what about that 27th degree of Cancer? Well, this is where I think the rubber meets the road here. And let's read that one. It's interesting how the stars, in their own ways, I wouldn't say dictate, but hint at and perhaps influence the things we need to be looking at. Sabian symbol for 27 degrees of Cancer, a storm in a canyon, crisis leading to transformation. Eventually, our lives are disturbed by forces that call attention to the transient and shallow nature of luxuries. Facing crisis philosophically. However seemingly settled society is, and however secure its members might feel, nonetheless, there are forces that cannot be tamed. Each person will be faced with circumstances beyond their control and inevitably go through a transformative emotional turmoil. Rudger's symbol is a violent storm in a canyon filled with expensive homes. Now, I don't think I need to say any more than that Sabian symbol for us to understand um, the situation that we find ourselves in. We seem to think, as humans, that we have control of all things, but really, we're fleas on the back on a dog's tail when it comes to us living on planet Earth. The Earth is much larger and much more powerful than we are. And as much as we want to tame it and call it ours and say we're going to have this and we're going to have this, this is our earth and we can do whatever the hell we want with it. We can abuse it in any way we want. And of course, women are symbolic of the earth. And look at how women are being abused all over the world, repressed in places like Iran, blown up in places like Gaza, kept from medical necessary procedures in places like Texas. Um, and, we had a woman who, maybe not everybody cottoned to her, but she was smart, she was intelligent, she was compassionate, she was willing to do the hard work for America. And we chose a buffoon. Now, we didn't choose a buffoon. I know who I'm talking to here. But the majority of folks, for whatever reason, and there are many of them, and a lot of them are underhanded and despicable, has chosen this buffoon. And so here we stand, the most powerful nation on the planet, um, ready to go down the poop chute, as it were. So we will see what will happen, but we're facing this, guys, and certainly the wildfires in California are seen in these symbols. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Mother Nature has the last word on these things, and we need to start communicating with her. We need to start valuing her, and in that valuing our women and valuing our children and valuing our lives and creating our lives. A lot of this, virtual reality where people spend all this time in their minds creating this and creating that. And then they, you know, look around at the room that they're doing all this creation in, and what does it look like? What does your life look like? What are your family relationships like? What have you allowed to happen because of this buffoon, right? Schisms in families, your children, some of these MAGAs, like, and their children, and this, it we've allowed it to happen. And we have to come to the point where we decide what's important for us. And I think Mother Nature is going to have a big say in that. She's going to make it very evident. So as we stand on the precipice of sort of a new era here in the United States, know that there is always hope. There, And there's will. The people, we see what's going on in LA. We see how people are helping people. We also see how people are taking advantage of people, and we certainly see the way this incoming buffoonery uh, is looking at who to blame. Well, I'll tell you who to blame. Blame Exxon. They got a lot of money they can help build, but that's another story for another day. Here we are. I hope this helps, guys. Have yourself a great day. Like and subscribe. Much love to you all. Namaste.